Hey nerds, my name is Fuzzus, I'm fairly hairy, and I play games. And today we are picking back up in our exploration of the Obra Dinn. We just saw a kraken attack, and something more nefarious is happening here in this room. So, it looks like there was a blood trail leading over here, and we're about to find out what happened to this gentleman. Okay. So there was already a body on the ground. This guy clubbed him. This is the guy who was outside the captain's cabin, I believe, when the captain killed the first mate. Um, this guy is coming down the staircase. Oh man, this was the guy. Oh, okay. This is the first mate, and this was the guy who was stabbed and bleeding out. There's a knife in his back. He is back here, and he dies in the first mate's arms right here. We saw his corpse on the ground. So, man, something really violent happened here. There's one dead body, then this guy, who we're currently looking at, and he's got a pistol in his hand? Yeah, that's a pistol. And then he got clubbed to death from behind. I don't know what part, if any, he had in the stabbing of that guy. Escape. 3 others were present. Okay, so we don't know who he is, but he was clubbed. We don't know who clubbed him. Let's see here. Okay, so let's see here. So this guy was killed by the captain. That's the first mate. He was there. He was knifed by the captain. That is the guy who... not sure. He's the one who got clubbed to death. I think that's the guy who was crawling to the cabin. Okay, so we know that this guy was clubbed. Yeah, I figured we'd be looking at this guy. I don't think we'll be going very far. And we are indeed not going very far. Before we do that, though, I did notice that the guy in here, I don't think we have a cause of death. That's only one corpse, right? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I know. It's the guy who clubbed. I don't know where that guy went. Oh, that guy is just coming down because we're a little further ahead in time from the last guy we looked at. No, it's him. Yeah. I don't know who he is, but he absolutely got knifed. Him. He was knifed. We don't know who knifed him. We don't know who he is, but we do know that he was knifed. Okay, got it. So let's leave this memory and then continue on to the next one. Okay, cool. So we leave the cabin. Okay. So what happened? Was this the first guy who died in this little melee? Oh no. Oh my god. Okay. So we had a malcontent who was talking about taking the ship and running away. This is the guy who I think was calling out for mutiny, so he got stabbed. And then in the struggle, this guy got his face blown off. That is the... Is that the first mate? No. He was the guy who was clubbed. I'm trying to get an angle that lets me... Yeah, him. You can tell? Alright, dude fella with the face that got obliterated. We can say with certainty that, I think we have to wait for the scene to resolve itself. We can say with certainty that he was shot while fighting with the guy that was clubbed. Six others were present. But this guy was absolutely shot by a gun. And we don't know the name of the guy who shot him. But there was already blood on the ground leading back here. Suspicious. I'm gonna have to go back to this memory after this is found. No, not there. No, not there. Another body somewhere. I have to find. It would be logical to follow the blood trail, but it doesn't seem to lead there. Oh, it's up on the ship. What happened here? Oh my god, what a mess. Okay. Wow, this whole scene is just bad. Show me. God, for a black and white game in this kind of graphics, it's consistently awe-inspiringly beautiful. Okay. So you died as you were being dumped overboard. Ow. Why? Whoa. Okay. That's a lady. So we had people who wanted to leave, and people who didn't want them to leave. Interesting. Interesting. That's the first mate. Yeah. And that's the guy who's always, like, right next to the first mate. He was behind the first mate when he was killed outside the captain's cabin. So that's one woman. I think that's another girl next to her. And it looks like this guy is climbing up from the... Or he's trying to get onto the boat? That's another woman. Huddled down, I think. So these people wanted to leave, but some people didn't want them to leave. I don't know who he was, but he was absolutely shot in the face. Soul appears in 5 memories. Oh, and it gives you a list. But right now there's only 2 that we've discovered, I suppose. It's kind of a spoiler to give you the number of memories that they appear in. Yeah, okay, so let's see. Okay, yeah, I kind of figured it would be this guy. It's really hard to unravel this because everything's kind of moving backwards at the moment. We're seeing things in a reverse chronological order and some things that are interrupted. But there was definitely some unrest on the ship. This is after the Kraken attack, I think. So, at a glance, the ship looks like it's in good repair. Right. But then again, it kind of did when we first came aboard. Okay, so yeah, got it. So this is after the Kraken attack. And we've got people who are trying to leave the ship. We've got people talking about mutiny. Okay, so this guy was trying to protect them as they got on the boat to leave. Who are you? I can't see your face from here. So we don't know who this guy is, but we know that he just got his face blown off by the lady. Here comes Witterell, the first mate, and his friend. I don't know. We've never seen this guy before, I don't think. But he is absolutely being stabbed. So these people wanted to leave. They were taking the last lifeboat. And this guy was like, no way, we're letting you have it. He rushed forward to try to stop them. This guy tried to defend them. And that guy was coming back up to try to help. Okay. He was... I think I saw, like, killed by a sword? Yeah. That's a strange that's a strange way to put it. Because, you know, I could have seen, like, stabbed or just sword, but killed sword. I mean, you don't have killed gun or killed knife. I don't know. That seems suspicious to me. So, no, he did. Which memory was this? Oh, he was on the deck when the captain's wife got crushed by the kraken. Where's our next victim? Back downstairs. A lot was happening on the deck this evening. got a suspicious guy listening in here. This must be where they were talking about mutiny. There's the guy who got his head blown off. Yeah, this is definitely... They were talking about mutiny. That's the guy... The guy who was listening in is the one who got stabbed as he was running. And died in the first mate's arms. I'm starting to piece this together a little bit. Yeah, here we go. And this guy's death is probably what set it all off. So who are you?
Put me down. Let go. Easy now. You're in a bad way. Is the squid? Where is my Frenchman? The squid's gone. Your mate was torn apart. The beast is dead. How? How did you kill it? We didn't. It left with the store. Captain came up from the hold. Said he chased it off. You should rest. A curse like that does not live for nothing.
Alright, so this guy just expired. Oh, hey. Who are you? What are you doing down here? Hey, you look familiar. There's Mr. Witterell, first mate. Coming out of his cabin, I suppose. Okay, he said Verdammt, which I think is German. That's the guy who got his face rearranged by a pistol. So he sounded German. He was asking for his Frenchman. The Frenchman was crushed by the beast. So let's start seeing if we can piece some things together with the context. Don't know who he is. And actually, I don't know how he died either. He just... There was a small blood trail, but I didn't see any obvious wounds on him. As far as who he is... he could be Austrian. He could be the bosun. Or the gunner. Unknown. The ship steward is unknown. That's interesting. England, Scotland, Sierra Leone, Persia, Scotland, England, New Guinea, Russia. Alright, so the only German speakers that I can think of that I notice in this list is Austria, which we have 2. But he said, where's my Frenchman? So I am thinking that probably he meant his mate, Charles Minor. So I suspect that this is the bosun, Alfred Klestel. I don't know what killed him, but I think that's his name. Are there any other Frenchmen on the boat? There are no other Frenchmen on the boat. So I think that we know that the Frenchman was a guy who was torn apart by the beast. Anyway, yes, I am prepared to say this is Alfred Klestel, the bosun. Where do we first see him? This unknown soul was torn apart by the beast. Now, that could be his Frenchman. They were standing close together in the portrait. But they also had a couple guys between them. Oh, wait, no. He wasn't in there. Oh, he was, but he was all the way down here. So, no, that's probably not the Frenchman. He's probably Almost certainly not the only one who was torn apart by the beast, though we haven't seen any others just yet. But yes, this is absolutely Alfred. He's stationed with the rest of the ship's officers down here. So yeah, I feel fairly comfortable following him for that. Okay, and we're back in the memory. Do we see any obvious wounds or weapons? Is he missing an arm? Was his arm torn off? And if so, how? I mean, the blood trail starts here. Who are you? That's the captain. The captain's going up deck. And there's the first mate. That blood? That blood or shadow? It's hard to tell. I don't think it's blood. Because the blood has very defined edges. So, we figured out who this guy is, but we don't know what killed him. It looks like he may have lost his arm here. He certainly had 2 arms in the picture. But yeah, it looks like something tore his arm off. It feels like there should be more blood, or at least like a massive pool where it first happened, if not an arm laying on the ground. But I feel like this is a good while after the kraken attack, so it couldn't have been the kraken, could it? No, something else happened here. And then this guy died. These two start talking about mutiny. And I believe that this is the guy. Yeah, he's the one who got knifed. So he's the one who overheard them. He was the one who was leaning up against this wall and heard it and started screaming for mutiny. There was a struggle. He got stabbed by one of these two guys. Alright. So it looks like the kraken attack maybe wasn't the most brutal thing to befall the Obra Dinn. Alright, this is getting more and more interesting, so we're going to leave it for here, but we'll pick up very shortly. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.